With the Nintendo Switch growing in popularity, third-party developers are bringing their own games to the handheld console, making some of their experiences portable for the first time. Hi-Res Studios joins that front with the release of their famous team-based shooter, Paladins, available on the Nintendo Switch today. Although Paladins will receive a free-to-play version later this summer, where you'll have to unlock the roster of heroes by playing the game, players can currently pay $30 to get the Founders Pack, giving you early access to the game right now and unlocking all the heroes from the get-go, including future ones yet to be announced. Paladins doesn't really have a story mode, so we're skipping that for this review and just jumping straight into the gameplay. For those of you unfamiliar, Paladins is a hero or champion team shooter. Those that have played games like Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch will find the gameplay to be familiar. I don't want to get into the logistics of what came first, as one could argue that the Paladins beta came first, but Overwatch started development first as Titan. It's a big mess among the gaming communities and really not necessary for this review. Let the point just be that these games are similar to each other to some extent. Now, the Paladins Founders Pack unlocks all the current 36 playable characters that are in other versions of the game. These champions are broken up into 4 categories consisting of frontline, damage, support, and flank. Frontline champions are heroes that, as the name suggests, are on the front lines, taking the enemy head-on while also guarding their allies. They typically are bigger heroes with more health and thus can take a beating, but also dish out a pretty powerful one too. Damage heroes have average amounts of health but deal large amounts of consistent damage. They're the perfect hero for sneaking up on the sidelines during a firefight to get in those mid-range heavy attacks. Support champions are, well, your support. They usually have great healing abilities and offer general support to the rest of the team. They're the backbone manager of it all. Lastly, there is the flank class. These heroes are clever, sneaky, and tactical. Heroes that can easily get around the field and behind the enemy. They're my personal favorite type, as they often can pack a punch while also having some of the most unique abilities. In addition to no longer needing to grind to earn in-game cash to unlock the new characters, you actually get bonus cosmetics like voice packs with the Founders Pack as well. You're essentially starting Paladins with a bit of a head start of not needing to unlock all the characters, though luckily all the extra bonus stuff is just cosmetics. In terms of gameplay, Paladins on the Switch offers just about everything that the other console and PC counterparts offer outside of the Rise of Furia content. This is a new event that acts as Paladins' current story mode, or the closest thing to it, offering a bit more lore to the franchise specifically for the recent character Furia. Everything else in those games is present on the Switch though. When playing online, you can choose between playing in either Deathmatch or Siege. Deathmatch is pretty self-explanatory, it's a team-based deathmatch. Teams compete on the map with their favorite heroes to see who can get up to 40 kills first. Gameplay here feels like a mix of Team Fortress 2 and Overwatch as you make your way towards the enemy's side of the map to rack up those kills. The champion you choose at the start of the match is who you're stuck with throughout the match. You can't change your heroes once the match has started. What you can do to your character is customize them to your liking. Sure, you can change the character's skin or voice pack, but the really cool customization comes from the cards. These packs of cards are called loadouts, and they're cards that can alter the characteristics of a character. The abilities or moveset of a character will stay the same no matter what, but how they work is actually changing. You can change the cooldown time on a move or the damage a certain attack does. It's with this system of cards that a new layer of strategy is added to the combat. You can further change up your character with the stat buff abilities. You can set one of these at the start of a match, but your options are quite limited at first. It's through constant online play that you'll gain XP to level up your characters and unlock new stat buff options for matches. You can also earn credits in matches that can then be used to buy new stat buff modifiers or cosmetics in the in-game store. This is your progression system that rewards constant play and furthermore, great matches. By the time you reach level 15, a new ranked match option will be opened up, welcoming in new chances for tougher competition. That competition can either be Switch players or even Xbox One players, as Paladins on the Switch supports crossplay with other Xbox gamers. Outside of the deathmatch and the rank match, there is the onset and siege modes. For Siege, rather than the traditional deathmatch, you instead focus on moving a payload to a new location. Much like Overwatch, you can capture a point and then escort a payload to the other opponent's side. The first team to get to 4 points wins. This felt much more tactical than deathmatch, as it required the team to coordinate with each other with the correct hero and maintain the payload. Admittedly, that's a bit difficult to do in the Switch version with its underwhelming solution to communication on the system. Now, the onslaught game mode, on the other hand, is the King of the Hill mode for this game, where you capture non-moving points for the team. Like the Siege mode before it, it's a team-heavy game mode that requires a proficient and well-managed team. These more tactical team modes are fun, though with only emotes as your form of communication on the Switch, it's a bit difficult to work with your team unless you guys are pre-planning to play something on Discord. Overall, the combat and gameplay was fun and addicting. It had me constantly rejoining to play another match. Ironically though, this also became a problem because of some pretty lengthy loading times. Just logging into the game or starting a match online can take quite a bit of time. That's where a lot of the game's bugginess comes from, the loading. Winning a match forces a match to stop and oddly teleports you back to your base. It's a bit abrupt and it just feels cheap. There's also no option for gyroscope controls, and though I personally don't really mind that, I know it's a fairly popular feature among Switch owners with their shooters and it's completely missing at launch. Paladins on the Nintendo Switch constantly runs at a pretty solid 60 frames per second. Whether it's in handheld or dock mode, performance was stable and impressive. Being on a weaker console though, there are some drawbacks that had to be made. In handheld mode, the resolution can look a bit soft, specifically on the character models. It looks like the gameplay can be running at a sub 720p while the UI is running at 720p. As for the dock mode, to my eye it looked like it was running at 720p 60. Altogether, it looked decent enough to still be recognized as Paladins. I was still able to make out the enemies in the distance despite the lower resolution, and it easily is the best performing first-person shooter I played on the Switch. My only issue with the game is that the UI elements like menus and option text can be a bit difficult to read, especially if you're in portable or in tabletop mode. That was actually an issue that was present in the Switch version of Rocket League 2, but hopefully just like them, this will be fixed in the future. The music in Paladins was pretty average and mediocre to me. The main menu theme has this grand orchestratic-like theme, though it wasn't particularly catchy. It gets worse in the gameplay where if there is any music you can hardly hear it with all the sound effects happening at once. It's all drowned out and it's like it's not even there. On the bright side, most of the guns sound pretty good. A few of the machine gun artillery can sound a bit generic and echoey, but for the most part, the rest of the weaponry sounded great. Paladins is one of my favorite games on the Nintendo Switch right now, and certainly a demonstration of a solid port job to Nintendo's handheld console. While it's obvious that it doesn't hold up graphically to the more powerful platforms, Paladins on the Switch is able to get by with good enough resolution and more importantly, a great frame rate. The stable performance is what makes Paladins on the Switch a perfectly adequate way to play the game, even though you're sacrificing that resolution. Although paying $30 for a soon-to-be free-to-play game may be a tough pill to swallow, the content that's unlocked from the get-go seems like a pretty solid reward for it. You're also getting a game that can be played both in portable mode or on the TV, something that hasn't been done with this game before. With the Founders Pack, you're not tasked with having to grind for in-game currency to slowly unlock all 36 characters and future unreleased characters. Instead, you'll have it all from the get-go at the start. Although you still have to work out the card loadout system as a progression system, and I think that's a good thing. Outside of some fairly long loading times on occasion, Paladins on the Switch is certainly worth checking out, whether you want to pay to play for it right now or wait to play it for free later this summer. If I had to give Paladins on Nintendo Switch a rating out of 10, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. That does it for my review of Paladins for the Nintendo Switch. If you enjoyed this review, then please do give it a thumbs up. If you're new around here, subscribe for more content on the Nintendo Switch and other platforms as well. And thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.